Hello, I'm Deb Getches, Executive Director of Housing Land Trust of Sonoma County. Housing Land Trust of Sonoma County partners with local employers and with cities to ensure that we're able to serve those who serve our community. Our teachers, healthcare personnel, firefighters, police officers, and many others who are essential members of our community and are indeed the fabric of our community are unable to afford to buy a home in the place where they work. Today you will meet two of our newest families. Chris is a local firefighter and a veteran. He and his wife Jessica are now able to live just minutes away from the fire department and respond in case of an emergency. You will also meet Nick. Nick is a police officer and he and his family are also now living and working locally. Thank you for your support in helping us fulfill our mission.
I was younger, I actually grew up in the city of Hillsburg, kind of on the outskirts in Alexander Valley, which was obviously a beautiful area. It was out in the country.
We met in high school. We did meet in high school. We weren't very close in high school, but we ended up working together at, both of our first jobs was at a movie theater, and we ended up working together, and that's how we really met each other.
Mm-hmm. I got notified on a 4th of July weekend of 2009. One of my commanders said, hey, you know, you have the opportunity to go to Afghanistan. Do you want to do it? I know you're on vacation. And I said, yeah, and I'd love to go. That's kind of why I joined, to serve my country. And he says, okay, you're flying back home tomorrow, drop all your bags, and you know, you're gonna get ready to get back, and you're gonna go out in a couple weeks. So, you know, I think what really solidified our relationship with me was when I asked Jessica, said, hey, you know, we can either, you know, move on and say, you know, this was great while it lasted, or you can stick by me, but just keep in mind I'm gonna be gone for a year. And she says, no, I wanna keep it going. So I thought that was, you know, like, that was awesome. It was a good feeling. So.
We have a 7-year-old, 1.5-year-old, and one on the way. The home price is, how skyrocketed it went in that town. It was like, oh, there's no way we're gonna be able to buy a house in Hillsburg.
We could only afford really maybe a condo, if that, in Sonoma County. So our options were very limited. I mean, we probably would still be renting right now.
Our housing options before Housing Land Trust was extremely minimal. They were pretty much destroyed houses that would take a significant amount of money that we did not have. As a first responder, being able to live and work in the community, it gives you more of a pride, I guess you would say. You know, you're actually working for your town, in a town you live in, so you actually relate more with people. You get a, you know, like, hey, I'm helping my community, and when you're saying my community, it's really your community. You get some backlash from some people sometimes. They're like, oh, how long have you lived here? And you don't know. And it's like, well, you know, I do. I live here in this town, and you know, I do see the difference, and I do see this, and I understand what you're talking about. Being a first responder, people would assume, oh, you know, you make good money, blah, 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 you should be able to buy a house, no problem. But that's not the case.
At one point, between the two of us, we had 5 jobs, and even then, we couldn't afford to buy in Sonoma County. And looking at other counties was difficult because he worked in Healdsburg and he needs to be able to respond. And so having this opportunity to live in Healdsburg where he works and raise our son in that community, it's a dream come true for us.
When I would get up and respond to calls in the middle of the night or weekends or whatever, I felt like I was going to work. But now this is our community. So, you know, like, I'm invested in it because that's where we live. You know, that's where my wife is and my son's there. So that community is now what we call home. To be in the community now where my response time is, you know, 5 minutes tops, maybe on my bicycle 5 minutes tops, you know, it adds a level of efficiency and almost like responsibility to be able to say, hey, you know, I can be here.
When Dev came into the fire department one evening when Chris was working, it really opened up a door for us that we didn't even know was available.
One thing that's probably most important to know about the program is that it's doable. It really is. We had heard about it, you know, we kind of tossed it around up in the air, and it was just like, oh, you know, that disbelief, like that's not gonna work for us. It did, and we're here now today.
It was pretty scary at first, I'd say. But what I really come to appreciate about Dev and the rest of the Housing Land Trust staff is that they almost held our hand through the process. You know, all the scary parts, they made the lights, you know, come on so we weren't in the dark, and they really, you know, fought for us. You know, if we had questions or we were, you know, nervous on a portion of the application, or if we didn't know, you know, how to fill out something appropriately, Dev and the team made themselves available to us, and it really eased the process. For us now, the exciting part is making the home ours. You know, it's taking some time with having a young child, but you know, I'll come home from work and maybe install a ceiling fan one day or put up window coverings the next, and it really adds that sense of pride for us to know that this is our little piece, this is our home, and we get to decorate, you know, the way we want, and it's comfortable. It just feels like home when you get there, when you walk through the door.
The first week in our house felt like we were on vacation or in a hotel, but our stuff was there. I want to give a thanks to Dev and Chris for all the help they've done, the Comstocks for everything they've done for being able to provide us this, and the city of Hillsburg and the manager and the council. And
I think it's really important for the city staff, management, and personnel that are, you know, assisting in developing programs like this. It's important for them to know that this could, you know, truly be of benefit to the local community. As a first responder, just to be able to be in the community where I'm assisting, you know, that's the difference between life and death in some situations. The difference between someone's home, you know, being burnt to a crisp and to the ground, or having personnel be there to be able to respond and make sure that the wet stuff's getting on the hot stuff and saving the home from, you know, utter destruction. So I think it's important for, you know, the city managers and developers and city staff to invest in programs like these, to bring, you know, the people that want to help the community and want to live and work and start their lives and, you know, plant their roots, and want to be invested in their community. It's important for them to know that there's good, hardworking, honest people out there that maybe can't get there on their own right. I want to thank the city staff for really, you know, being receptive to programs like this, and to Dev and the team at the Housing Land Trust for, you know, wanting to be the advocate and willing to step up and fight for people like myself and families like mine.
Everything that I done and everything, you know, just the benefit of my family and then someone else having the opportunity, if we move, for them to be in the same situation is, it's an amazing feeling.
Being able to help someone else that is in the same situation means a lot to us, because for us it was a huge blessing, and if we could pay that forward to someone else when we are ready to move, it would make us feel good about what we're doing.
This house might not be our forever house, but it has set the structure for us in a foundation. And when it's our time to move on and someone else's time to move in, hopefully, you know, that family works for the city of Hillsburg. They're somehow involved in the community.
When we were looking at purchasing a home, we wanted to, you know, plant our roots, I guess, if you will. So for me personally, the land trust model, it gives somebody else that opportunity. Say if we decide we don't want to be in Healdsburg anymore, or we want to, you know, maybe try and see if we can, you know, move to another city or town, we're giving somebody else that opportunity, as Jessica mentioned, to be able to plant their roots.